Hello there everybody, it's Sunday the 11th of October 2009 and it's late on in the evening. I just want to raise a few things if I could. The first thing I want to raise, I'm going to put the little connections up and you can see them, and they relate to two articles in today's Sunday Business Post. Both of them relate to NAMA. Very interesting, I think. The first one is an expose really of the true value of development land in Ireland at the moment. In other words, green site land. In other words, land where property speculators paid for virtually green site land, or hardcore land where maybe there was a factory or something like that, and what they were going to do is just level it, get it all dug out and redevelop it for factories and for property speculation, for apartments and all the rest of it. Okay, and this is for a site down in Dublin Docklands, and the site is a famous site. It's called the Irish Glass Bottle site, and I don't know if any of you have gone down to the boat that get one of the ferries to go to England at Dublin Docks. You pass by the general area of it, and it's way down near where the ferries all tie up down there at the docks. So the big site, and they paid a few years back. They paid there was three groups involved in this. They paid 413 million euros for it, and it was an obscene amount of money at the time. And it worked out that they paid 17.2 million euros per acre. Okay, and what happened was they got an independent valuation done last week, and the independent valuation put it at 60 million euros. That's right, went from 413 in 2006-2007 to what it is today. That's 60 million. So that's a loss of 85%, and they reckon there's some people saying that this is an optimistic scenario, so the losses could be greater than 85%. Now these are only paper losses, but it still doesn't matter. That money, £413 million, was borrowed from somewhere. Was it borrowed from banks, or was it borrowed from people? And the people must have borrowed it from banks, because where do people get 413 million? We're like, what's the scenario here? We all know eventually it came from banks. And anyway, the bottom line of it is there are massive losses in this. Now, the three parties involved these are approximate values. Approximately 1/3 of the money was paid for by the Dublin Docklands Development Authority, the DDDA. Okay, and that's in our name because it's under the Ministry of I guess, Enterprise and Trade and Enterprise. Anyway, the people have lost so far 87.5 million on this deal. And the other two, of course, are property speculators. There were two groups of people, property speculators. Their companies bought the remaining, and one is this man Bernard McNamara. He bought 41%, and the other man is Derek Quillen. He bought 33%. So we all know who Bernard McNamara is. He's the man who runs around today with the bodyguards. I don't know whether they're armed or anything like that, but he runs around with bodyguards permanently because a large amount of the money that he borrowed in the latter, and I'm sure it goes into this, a large amount of the money that he borrowed laterally in his heyday as a property speculator came from the Balkans. And these fellows are like money lenders of the power of 10. They're like the mafia, at an exponential level. You do not cross these people. Wonderful if you make money from them. Everybody's all wonderful, and they'll fly you out to Moscow and look after you, or fly you out to the Balkan states and look after you wherever. But if you lose their money, they want their money back, or they want somebody's hide. That's it. That's the way it goes. I'm sorry about that. So I think for the foreseeable future, Mr. Bernard McNamara will have to go around with bodyguards on an ongoing basis. Sorry about that, but that's the reality. The next man is the man, the wonderful tax advisor stroke international investor stroke just the golden whiz kid of Irish property investment, and that was Mr. Derry Quinlan, who has now jumped ship and is now in Lucerne, on the shores of Lake Geneva. Well, that's what we're told where he is. He could be anywhere. But anyway, the bottom line about it is he's another one who's involved. And both these men used their private clients to fund these operations. Now, this is big amounts of money. 2/3 of 413 million euros is like 260 million euros or more, 275 million euros. So in order to fund that, you have to have lots of people involved. Now, these people weren't Martians, these people were Irish, because this is who Quinlan and McNamara knew. So you have McNamara, who got the bulk of his money from the Balkan Mafia and people like that, and you had Quinlan, who got them from equity clients, private equity clients, and daily stockbrokers, and other people like that who he knew. So they've all taken massive hits because they all borrowed it from the banks. So they are not going to be happy. But they can't do nothing. He's jumped ship, he's gone, one of them's gone. If you want to see him, you better get on a plane, book a Ryanair flight to Switzerland. And the other fella, as I say, he won't talk to anybody, and if you go within 12 foot of him, I think one of his bodyguards might interfere. It might shift your lower jaw. So, you know, that's the scenario. The third party being, as I said, the Dublin Docklands Development Authority, and they've lost 87.5 million on behalf of the Irish people. So it's a fascinating little article written by a girl called Kathleen Barrington, and I've put the link up there for you so you can have a look at it. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is an article in the middle of this paper, written by the Sunday Business Post leading economists. That's a fellow called David McWilliams. Very interesting article. The article is written essentially as a commentary on Joseph Stiglitz, the Nobel laureate professor of economics, and what he thinks about NAMA. And he basically says that what it is, he's seen it many times in operation, similar schemes, and they're nothing more than a crude attempt to shift private debt onto the public purse, and they all happen in banana republics. And he has seen it as the leading economist on the World Bank. He saw it many times before, and it's nothing new, and it just goes under different names, but it's nothing new, and all the leading world economists know all about it, and they know it's a scam. That's what he says. So if you want to debate NAMA, take it up with Joseph Stiglitz, because he's not going to be impressed by what you have to say if you're in favour of NAMA. Yeah, finally I just want to talk about these little lads and what they are. They're a packet of Nurofen tablets, and I'm not here to advertise them or anything. I just want to tell you just very briefly what's going on. The difference in price between the price in the Republic of Ireland and in the north of Ireland. And I bought a packet of these on Tuesday here in the Republic of Ireland, and I bought the same tablets yesterday in Belfast, and the difference in cost. And what they cost me in the Republic of Ireland on Tuesday, they cost me 36 cents each. Each tablet cost me 36 cents each. And I bought exactly the same tablets yesterday. They had the same manufacturer, same packaging, everything in Belfast, and they cost me 13 cents each. So, in other words, one tablet cost 2.76 times the other tablet. The only difference being, one shop was just outside Belfast, a supermarket, and the other was a Medicare shop, a chemist shop here in Dublin on Tuesday. So what does it tell you about what's going on in the medical business here in Ireland? It's probably another one of the biggest rip-offs against the Irish people. Anyway, we'll talk more. Bye.